Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I'm going to share with you my little top that I've made, and it's inspired by one that I saw on the Sezane website. So I found this website because somebody whose vlog that I watch buys rather a lot of clothes from there, and I just fell in love with the whole look of everything that they have styled on there, but they are so expensive. And I make my clothes anyway, but if I was buying my clothes I wouldn't be buying them because they're just out of most people's price range, I feel. But if you only have a very small wardrobe and you only buy a few items, I don't know, maybe you could stretch to that. However, I like to have a look at these sites sometimes and get an idea of styling and things like that, and I did find so many things that I loved the look of, that I thought, if I've got the fabric in my stash, or if I'm planning on buying some fabric, I could make something based on what I've seen, and you don't even have to buy additional patterns, and that's what I've done anyway. So what I've done is I saw this beautiful red top. They also have it in a cream. Now I think on the image it's made from a crepe, from what I can make out, and I did have a little look at the details. So I think it's crepe fabric. Now I did think I had some in cream. I've had a good look round, and if I did, I can't for the life of me think what I've done with it. But I did have some jersey in a lovely red. So I know it's not in jersey in the image. I'm going to pop the image in here so you can have a good look at it. And I will show you again later on because I'll show you them side by side. So mine won't be exactly the same, but I've gone for that kind of look. And I think it'll look really nice with my jeans. It'll also look nice with skirts. So I've used this pattern, and what I've done is I've just modified it. So I did mention it in a previous video that I was going to be doing this. So I've used Simplicity 9133 just to get an idea of shape for the top. So it's not a t-shirt, it's a button down blouse that I've made, or it is still a t-shirt in that it's jersey, but it's a button down front. So what I've done, I've used this shape here, but I've modified the V, and I've kept the darts because this top does have darts in it, but I've done it as a button down front. So here's what I've done differently. So I'll pop an image of this in up on the screen so that you can see. Now I've also, when I cut out my two pieces, added a little add-on piece here. Now I couldn't cut out the two tie pieces as part of the fronts and do it as a facing. If you would, that's what you would normally do if you were doing a top like this. You would cut it out as part of the facing, and you would cut it out as part of the two front top pieces. Didn't have enough fabric for this because I'm using up scrap fabric for all these projects this month, and probably going on into the future for the next few months because I am using up quite a few bits. So what I wanted to do is have a little add-on bit here so that I could add my tie bits, which are these bits, sort of a pointy little piece. I cut 4 of those, and what I did was I stitched 2 to the 2 main front pieces, and then I stitched the other 2 on top of those with a small seam, just 1 centimetre, and then poked it through so that it was ready, and then I faced it with the binding after that. So with the binding I stitched it up the front, and then I cut another piece for the V here, and then I folded that back, and then the 2 meet and I stitched them on the inside with hand stitches. I did it that way because it's jersey and because it was stretchy. I didn't want it pulling out trying to do it all in one piece. So I didn't want to do it and then fold it and then try and continue that way. So I thought I'll do it as 2 pieces and then neatly stitch them together on the inside with hand stitches, and that's what I did. And then when I'd done that, I was pressing it the whole way to make sure that the jersey was staying nice and neat on the binding pieces. And then I tested out my tie piece. Now at first I did feel that I'd done my tie a little long for it to look exactly how I wanted. So I folded it back to the inside a little and stitched it down, and then tried it again, and it looked just right. So I was happy with that. Now with the sleeve pieces, I kept them pretty much the same, but I cut them just a little bit more full at the top here, and I didn't want them to, I mean this one has got a band on anyway, but I didn't want them to my arms. I wanted them to sort of be looser as they are in the picture, So I just shaped them out a little when I cut them out. And then I stitched it all up. When I was applying the buttons, I did wonder whether there was any point in doing buttonholes because it's in jersey and it can just pull straight over your head. So not needing to add in an extra step when you don't need to, and also making buttonholes and then cutting into jersey. I just thought I'm just going to stitch the buttons straight through. So at each point where I've sewn on the button, I've just sewn it straight through the 2 layers. So it is still like a blouse top, but it is permanently sewn closed. So I'll show you some pictures of it on, and I'll also whip you around and show you some pictures of it on the mannequin now. Now I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, when you think that this particular top, again, it's a different fabric, but that doesn't matter. On the website, it's £95 for this top. Or I think it's in euros. No, it's €95. €95, and I just made this from fabric that I had lying around. So if you can ever do that, just go ahead and give it a try because it is worth it. So here we have it. Now, as you can see, I've kept the darts in because I did like that on the t-shirt. So even though it's just a t-shirt, mine, and not made from, you know, your usual blouse material. And I already had these buttons also, and they are a slightly deeper shade of red, but I don't mind that. They were what I had, so I'm using up things that I've already got. And obviously where I've got my binding down both front pieces, so as you can see I've left it loose at the bottom, I've done top stitching. So I've done top stitching, here is my tie and the little sleeve, and if I turn it to the side you can see I've kept it so it's quite a full sleeve on the top, and then the bottom I've just used a stretch stitch. I've also used a stretch stitch on the bottom of the hem, so it's long enough to be worn out, but mainly I think I will be wearing that probably tucked in jeans or a skirt. So I did think when I first started trying it out in this jersey fabric that I would just test it out on this fabric first of all, and then that would just be sort of my toile, and then once I'd done that I knew that my idea worked, I would make it in some crepe in red. But now I've got this one, I don't feel I need to make another one in red because I really like this one. I've tried it on, it's a great fit, and I know that I will wear it a lot. But yeah, I do still fancy the white or off-white one because I think that will go with lots of things. Now I have spent, you know, this morning making this, and I cut it out last night and just played around with a few ideas, cutting shapes out on my bench here, and then finished it off this morning. So I think I may get some crepe in the future in a white or an off-white, but I think it needs to be a heavier one because I don't want it to be see-through and I don't want to have to be wearing things under it. So I'll have to have a good look what's the best value one that I can get of that, or if anybody's got any ideas, or if anybody's made anything in a white or off-white crepe that's a good weight and doesn't show through your underwear or anything, please let me know in the comments. Now I am going to having a good look on their website if there's anything else that takes my eye, and then having another look through my leftover pieces for the other things that I can sort of copy or mix. And it's good to see things actually being worn rather than just trying to think it through in your head what the fabric and what the shape looks like. So to see them on actual models on online shops is a good place to start if you're thinking of what you want to make, if you've got an idea of what you want to make in a certain fabric, even if you don't do it exactly the same. So in a future video I am going to be making this up for my husband. So it's this fabric, I may have shown it before, that I have. It was another one of the donated ones that I was given. Now my husband likes long sleeved shirts and he will wear t-shirts, but he doesn't really like a short sleeve shirt. So what I thought with this is when I make this up I'm going to make it sort of to the elbow here. You will wear them to here. I'm going to make it with sort of a mock turn up and a little tab, and that way there isn't a lot of fabric here. That means that I can fit the shirt out of the fabric, but also it will be a summer length shirt that he will wear. So rather than a full length and not a short sleeve, but somewhere in between. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that in a future video. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that little make today. It's something that I planned a few months ago. I think I actually first saw that blouse. So I'm really pleased that I've managed to get on with it and make something that I think is similar and that I know that I will wear. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you so much for watching today. Bye for now.